Oh ya wis, sik ngono gak sida. Again, everyone, please adjust and rename your participant ID to the name of your university, underscore your first name, then your last name. Also, kindly indicate or type the name of your university and program or course in the chat box for acknowledgement of your school. Hello, everyone. We encourage everyone to turn on their videos and use the event's virtual background. So the virtual background is uploaded in our chat group, so you may download it and utilize it as your background. To those who just joined, please adjust and rename your participant ID to the name of your university, underscore your first name, then your last name. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar entitled Beaconomics, Discovering the Light of Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship, or Beaconomics, Inspirasi Baru untuk Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship. So before we dive into today's topic, we'd like to take a moment to showcase two of our esteemed institutions, St. Louis University and Persatuan Guru Republic Indonesia. So just a brief background. St. Louis University is a private Catholic research basic and higher education institution run by the Congregation of the Immaculate Heart of Mary and is based in Baguio City, Philippines. On the other hand, Persatuan Guru Republic Indonesia, or PGRI, is the Teachers Association of the Republic of Indonesia and is based in Jakarta. We've put together a short video that highlights some of the key features of these institutions. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Community quarantine is hereby imposed in the entire of Metro Manila.
Marami, pero para sa nakabubuti. Maraming nangyari ngayong taon, pero ang pinakapaborito ko, yung hindi ako sumuko. Para sa mas masaganang pagbabago, Luisiano, salamat. Muli, hihintayin kita.
Committed to global standards and maintaining quality education, St. Louis University's internationalization framework was crafted. First is the internationalization of formal education. International accreditation and recognition are highly regarded. The second is international mobility of students and staff. 74 international linkages represent the global position of SLU in the Louisian mobility participation. The third is strategic cooperation, partnerships, and capacity building. SLU is a partner of the Erasmus Plus programs of the EU in 3 ongoing projects: Friends, Project Antenna, and Trust. SLU is a host institution of a virtual English language fellow in cooperation with the U.S. Department of State and the Regional English Language Office, or RELO, in Manila. The fourth is International Credit Mobility, or ICM. The program includes short-term higher education mobility, student mobility for studies, student mobility for traineeships, mobility for teaching, and staff mobility for training. It also developed the Languages and International Studies Unit, or LISU. The fifth is Internationalization at Home and Digital Learning, or IAH. SLU created programs and centers for IAH, including the International Students Association, or ISA, that organizes activities for international students. SLU brings the world to its feet through innovative internationalization, offering global programs, partnerships, and flexible learning opportunities.
Wow, wasn't that inspiring? SLU and Universitas PGRI Alibuana
Recording in
SB1
progress.
are truly remarkable institutions, and we're honored to have them as partners in this webinar. Now let's go over some Zoom etiquette and other reminders to ensure that everyone will have a productive and enjoyable experience throughout the webinar. So first, mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Second, be mindful of background noise and distractions around you as much as possible. Let everyone appreciate your presence. If possible, turn your cameras on, adjust your lighting and angles so we can see your face well. Avoid multitasking and focus your attention on the webinar. Be considerate in not talking over people and give everyone a chance to speak. Of course, interact, learn, and have fun. So, good morning, magandang umaga. Salamat pagi to all students, faculty, and staff. My name is Raymar Tromero, and I'm thrilled to be your MC host for today's webinar. I hope you're all doing well and are excited as I am to be here. Let me take this moment to acknowledge and thank everyone, each and everyone, for taking the time out of their busy schedules to join us. We know your time is valuable, and we truly appreciate your presence and participation. Before we begin, may I request everyone to feel the presence of the Lord through an opening prayer followed by the ASEAN Anthem, Indonesian National Anthem, and the Philippine National Anthem.
Aris.
Munhana kami apumakno nga nibiyagan nindat mo. Idatanda kami bikan mangat na pinghod mo. Dawat mininggop hino ayatu boblemi. Hey makiwada-wada kida kami. Hey makiwada-wada kida kami.
Hey makiwada-wada kida
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wal barakatuh. Salam pa mga kiaulungan sin Tuhan. Pianaugan niya Nabi Iban Quran. Kasilasan niya sa plag pakatilingkal alam. Maglasa kita niyo bat tumanang. Bo Tuhan, tunggal nu sa sangdolan kami. Buwanin kami rijiki maglabi-labi. Law sangom rahmat nu subay pinudji. Hangkan kita bi subay magkasih-kasih.
Pangurumon kang usalat pangkalikupanan. Pangurumon kang pangirayan at kang walay sikog balantang nga makagkululang. Pangurumon kang sinlakan. Pangurumon kang apagatung. Pangurumon kang kasangpan. Pangurumon kang sa walang Panguloy pangirayon, pangitapan yung pangito'y watang walay sikog palantang na makapulula. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na mapagpala, hiling namin ang pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman sa bawat nilalang.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos ng awa, bigyan mo kami ng kakayahan sa pagtataguyod ng pakikipag-ugnayan sa bawat isa.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na mapagkalinga, mangyaring ikawan ang pagpapaunlad ng kalikasan ng tao sa mundo.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na pag-ibig, tulutan mo ang aming bansa ng pagkakaisa at pagkakaunawaan sa gitna ng pagkakaiba-iba.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Sa ngalan pangurungan, panguduyog, Espiritong kalatag mo.
Again, good morning, everyone. Are you guys ready? This is the Internationalization Week webinar entitled Beaconomics, Discovering the Light of Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship, or Beaconomics, Inspirasi Baru untuk Ecopreneurship dan Technopreneurship. We have a great lineup of speakers and experts who will be sharing their insights and knowledge with us. And I'm sure you are all eager to learn from them. To formally start, let us welcome Dr. Dwi Ratnani Srinarwati, the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs of PGRI at Buana University, for her opening remarks.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To the Honorable Reverend Father Gilbert B. Sales Sahles, CICM University President, the Honorable Engineer Jeffrey D. Benoit, Dean St. Louis University School of Engineering and Architecture, the Honorable April Camnet, Officer in Charge OIC Dean, St. Louis University School of Accountancy, Management, Computing, and Information Studies, the Honorable Assistant Professor Tony Susilo Wibowo, Dean of Economic and Business Faculty, Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya, and all distinguished participants and ladies and gentlemen. It is great pleasure to address you all at this academic webinar between Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya, Indonesia, and St. Louis University, Philippines. On behalf of Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya, would like to express my gratitude under the name of our rector for warm welcoming and inviting us to make collaboration for this webinar with the topic Beaconomics, Discovering the Light of Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship. Personally, I am so delighted with this webinar, since this topic delivered touches the uniqueness of the combination of ecopreneurship and technopreneurship, which bring to innovative business model that goal for achieving the sustainable growth of the economy. I also would like to give special thanks to the facilitators in this wonderful program. Ms. Lorraine Ngesi, Dr. Zenedit P. Meneng, Engineer Melissa Miem Buedu, the speaker representative from St. Louis University, Philippines. And also my sincere thanks to Assistant Professor Evita Purnaningrum, Assistant Professor Fakhrudi Asari, PhD, the speaker representative from Economic and Business Faculty Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya. Thank you very much for you all desires to share such wonderful ideas to all of us. I believe this webinar will become a wonderful event, which expect to attract all academicians, practitioners, students, to share ideas, practices, and concepts so we can develop our knowledge and exchange ideas to overcome all economic issues in our own countries. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I'd like to say how wonderful it is to have so many entrepreneurs and innovators from this academician in both institutions who gather here. I look forward to learning more about all your endeavors And I hope that we can learn from each other and above all inspire each other to make a better world. Thank you and enjoy the webinar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Serena Ruati, for those wonderful and meaningful remarks. Now let's move on to the webinar proper. Before we begin, let us go over the program and prepare ourselves for what will transpire today. First, we will be having a discussion on the entrepreneurial mind by Professor Lorraine Yauski, followed by the breakout sessions which will be facilitated by Ma'am Maria Corazon Ocampo on Technopreneurship and Nasruddin Latif on Ecopreneurship. After the breakout sessions, we will reconvene for the presentations, syntheses, and reflections from our facilitators. Then we will proceed to the discussion on digital literation of SMEs by Assistant Professor Tony Susilo Wibowo. Before we end, we will have the awarding of certificates by Dr. Grace Carrido and Assistant Professor Hertiki, followed by a closing message from Reverend Father Gilbert B. Sales, CICM, and the webinar post-event evaluation. Please take note that the certificates of participation for the attendees will not be released if you have not completed the post-event evaluation. So we are also live through the Unipa or SBY YouTube channels. So we hope that you're as eager as we are to get started and dive into some fantastic discussions. So let's all make the most of this opportunity and actively participate in the conversation. Remember, the speaker and your fellow attendees are here to engage with you. So don't be shy to share your thoughts and ideas. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to utilize the chat box on the side of your screen. And let's all work together to make this webinar interactive, engaging, and most of all, fun. To start with, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Professor Lorraine Yausi. Lorraine Yausi has been a professor at St. Louis University for the past 26 years. In 2012, she was awarded as the most outstanding entrepreneurship educator in the Philippines by the Entrepreneurship Educators Association of the Philippines, or INEDA. She served as one of the INEDA National Board of Trustees for several terms, and she also served as the president for its North Luzon chapter. She finished her Master of Science in Business Administration and Bachelor of Science in Commerce, major in Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management from St. Louis University. She is currently a faculty under the Department of Entrepreneurship, Human Resource, and Marketing Management, and is currently pursuing her doctorate degree in Philosophy of Management. Again, let's all welcome Professor Lorraine Yausi for her talk on the entrepreneurial mind.
Naimbagag sa payo, magandang umaga, salamat pagi, good morning. I am honored to be one of the speakers in today's international conference. This is my second time to talk in a conference with Indonesian audience. My first was when I presented my entrepreneurship paper in an international conference held in Surabaya, Indonesia. That was more than a decade ago. Well, this morning I am tasked to talk about entrepreneurial mind, on what is entrepreneurial mind all about, why it is significant in today's current situation where we are faced with enormous environmental and societal issues, and the entrepreneurial mind course in St. Louis University. Today, we are in an entrepreneurial age. Organizations prosper through entrepreneurial efforts manifested in the dire need for principles of innovation, change, adapt, and risk-taking. It is through these mindsets that organizations provide solutions to the various critical environmental and societal problems that we face. As organizations respond to the call for innovation, jobs are created, societal problems are solved, the world is transformed, and the entrepreneurial individuals as well as organizations make profit. However, entrepreneurship is a journey least taken. It may be attributed to the concept of failure, not just the fear of failure in being an entrepreneur, but the failure to appreciate the value of providing entrepreneurship education. Young individuals are inculcated with the mindset to be intellectual, highly performing employees. Hence, since young, the individual is said to be somebody other than an entrepreneur. As governments in highly progressive countries have long realized, the Philippine government has also seen the need to develop entrepreneurial mindset in young Filipinos, which led to the approval of the Youth Entrepreneurship Act in 2015. Likewise, the Philippine Commission on Higher Education has endorsed the inclusion of entrepreneurial mindset as a general course offering in tertiary education. Through these actions, students may come to a realization on the perspectives of entrepreneurship and its application in their chosen field of discipline. So what is entrepreneurial mind? To comprehend entrepreneurial mind is to look into the two words comprising it, the mindset and entrepreneurial. Mindset is mental inclination, as according to Merriam-Webster. Also, it refers to the sum of beliefs and thoughts about the world and yourself, according to some in 2012. When you were young, what was your dream? So our dear students, can you chat it in our chat box? What was your dream when you were young? Is it to be an engineer? Is it to be a teacher, a nurse, a lawyer, a doctor? When you have said you will be a lawyer, an accountant, an engineer, or a beauty queen, that was your mindset. What you have set it in your mind when you were young. And you also to note that mindset is changing. Do you still have that dream when you were young? Entrepreneurial, on the other hand, is being an undertaker, an innovator, or an agent of change. According to Soledad O'Brien, being an entrepreneur is a mindset that is seeing things as opportunities all the time. Also, according to Bosman and Fernhaber in 2018, entrepreneurial mind is the inclination to discover, evaluate, and exploit opportunities. However, what I always tell my students would be to discover problems, because problems are opportunities. So let us take a look at stories that would manifest this concept of entrepreneurial mind. First is the story of Grenelas, which is an example of ecopreneurship. Grenelas is combination from the words green and chanelas. Green because it is ecopreneurship or sustainable business, and chanelas is the product. Chanelas is a Filipino term which means sleeper in English. The birth of Grenelas was accidental. Camille, the founder, used to work in the hospitality business but shifted to giving consultations related to environmental issues. She was doing a consultation job with abaca farmers who have a problem on how they can capitalize on abaca waste. Abaca is a fiber from abaca tree, which is a type of banana in the Philippines. Because Camille used to work in the hospitality industry, that she thought of hotel sleepers as products for the abaca waste. While helping the abaca farmers, she also saw the need to help maintain employment for artisans. So Grenelas was created. So these are the examples of abaca trees and abaca fiber. The problems Grenelas wanted to respond to are usage of waste abaca and work opportunities for artisans. Another example that exhibits an entrepreneurial mind is the story of Glorio. Xiongmin Li volunteered in a rehabilitation center There he noticed the difficulty of brushing teeth of the patients. He found that as unhygienic. So he tried to look for a solution and he was able to find a solution. And that is a suction toothbrush for special needs. Our third example of entrepreneurial mind is in the field of technology, and that is of angkas. Angkas is a Tagalog term which means ride with. Who loves heavy traffic? No one. So Angeline Pham from Singapore, who is living now in Manila, experienced traffic jam. So she developed an app for motorcycle taxi. Here, a user book a biker for a safe and efficient service, so you won't be late from your appointments. The problem is to reach your destination on time, so the solution was motorcycle taxi app. These are just three of the many examples of how significant entrepreneurial mind is in the quest of solutions for the huge environmental and societal problems we are faced with. Hence, the entrepreneurial mind course offering in St. Louis University and almost all of the program offerings, such as accountancy, financial management, marketing management, computer science, information technology, architecture, engineering, nursing, allied and biological sciences programs. This is to change the mindsets of the students. This does not mean to change their chosen program into the BS Entrepreneurship program, but for them to become entrepreneurial. So the entrepreneurial mind course aims to introduce to students the two concepts of being entrepreneurial. First, an entrepreneurial from the perspective of Richard Canchon. An entrepreneurial is one who is an undertaker. That is, one who organizes resources for productive outputs by establishing his or her own enterprise. Second, an entrepreneurial from the perspectives of Joseph Schumpeter, Peter Drucker, Gifford Pinchot III. That is, an entrepreneurial is one who is innovative, an agent of change, or an intrapreneur. Entrepreneurial is one who will be part of a vast army of innovative game changers, who will introduce transformative solutions to problems in their respective disciplines, as we altogether do our best to address our societal and environmental concerns. Now, why entrepreneurship mind education? Entrepreneurship education is through the intervention of the government through laws, endorsements by educational system, and in St. Louis University, we wanted our Louisians to be drivers of change for the betterment of the society. The Philippine government has seen the need to develop entrepreneurial mindset in young Filipinos, which led to the Republic Act 10679 to promote the sustained development of young Filipinos in the areas of finance and entrepreneurship. Through this act, the government intends to change the mindset of young Filipinos from wanting to be employees to being business owners. Initiatives under this law include standardizing the current programs of schools on entrepreneurship and financial literacy, providing government assistance and training programs to students, developing mentoring and coaching programs for young entrepreneurs, and setting up incubation laboratories and creative spaces in schools. Following these initiatives, the Department of Education and Commission on Higher Education have endorsed the inclusion of entrepreneurship in senior high school education and of the entrepreneurial mind as a general course offering in tertiary education, respectively. Hopefully, through these actions, students may come to develop their entrepreneurial mindset and to adopt the perspectives of entrepreneurship and apply it in their chosen field of discipline and profession. The Entrepreneurial Mind course aims to transform students of any program to be entrepreneurial Louisians. Entrepreneurial Mind course is for learners to ignite the entrepreneurial spirit and be innovators in their chosen career path, and thus able to introduce changes in their field of discipline, changes that transform the world for the better. This is well supported by this LU President, Reverend Father Gilbert B. Salas, CICM PhD. He said, which I quote, "The purpose of innovation in higher education is to create entrepreneurial universities with graduates who will be change adept to meet the emerging challenges of an evolving world," unquote. So with entrepreneurship education, entrepreneurial Louisians will create value in their chosen profession, which is the concept of careerpreneurship. Driven with careerpreneurship, the Louisians will now entrepreneurial their career, hence making themselves valuable. Equipped with entrepreneurial mind, Louisian graduates of any program are driven to be problem explorers and solution providers than profit-driven. Finally, with entrepreneurial graduates who will be ecopreneurs, intrapreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and technopreneurs, may be able to create resilient societies or communities. So to conclude my talk on entrepreneurial mind, let me share this video created by ADCOM. So let us watch this. I believe this video best manifests the power of entrepreneurial mind. I hope my talk brought you insights on the critical role of entrepreneurial mind in the discovery of environmental and societal problems and finding solutions along the context of ecopreneurship and technopreneurship. Well, thank you and good morning.
Wow, what an incredibly insightful and thought-provoking talk we just had from Professor Lorraine. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise on the entrepreneurial mind with us today. Of course, let's give Mom Lorraine a virtual applause. Please feel free to use the reaction button. Okay, so all right, now it's time for us to break out into some smaller discussions groups. And I am delighted to introduce you to our fantastic breakout room speakers. First, let me introduce our speaker for breakout room 1 on technopreneurship, facilitated by Ma'am Maria Corazon Ocampo. So joining us today are Assistant Professor Evita Pornaningrum, who will be discussing the digitalization of SMEs, an important topic in today's ever-evolving business landscape. So she has more than 5 years of experience in the world of education as a lecturer and actively contributes to advancing education in Indonesia. She has a Bachelor of Mathematics background in the field of operations research and a Master of Mathematics in Applied Mathematics from the Sepulu November Institute of Technology. She has also been involved in various national and international collaborative research. She started working on the digital transformation for SMEs with disabilities when she received national scale funding, namely the Matching Fund. Of course, other funding in this form of research, collaboration between universities related to utilization of big data in predicting the number of international tourists with the uncertainty Kalman filter model. Also, Assistant Professor Evita has an H-index Scopus 1 and H-index Google Scholar 9. We also have Assistant Professor Melissa Buado, who will be sharing the journey of a researcher and an entrepreneur. Engineer Melissa May M. Buado is currently the head of the Chemical Engineering and Mining Engineering Department of St. Louis University. And she received her Master of Science in Environmental Engineering and Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering, both at St. Louis University. She teaches and supervises research for graduate and undergraduate students in the university, and her research interests include environmental management and sustainability. She wishes to focus on air quality, hence, her recent project is directed on that sector by pioneering the Zeal Skin Project, which was granted funding by the Department of Science and Technology. She's trying to find her niche in research as well as in technopreneurship. She feels that research outcomes should not stay within the walls of the academy, but be brought out for the community to benefit from. She is an advocate in breaking the traditional mindset in academia so as to equip students with the grit they need when they join the industry workforce or the business sector. She herself is retooling and upskilling to build her company soon. So if you're interested with the topic on technopreneurship, please join the breakout room 1. Okay, so for breakout room 2 on ecopreneurship, we have 2 distinguished experts with us today. So first, we have Professor Zenedith B. Monang, PhD, who will be sharing her vast knowledge on financial entrepreneurship and financial technology. So Zenedith Monang is a graduate of St. Louis University with a degree, Doctor of Philosophy in Business Management in 2018. She started working with St. Louis University in 1995 and has held various positions. She is currently the graduate program coordinator for the Accountancy and Business Management cluster of the School of Advanced Studies, and she teaches financial management, corporate finance, and other business management courses. She is married and is blessed with 3 wonderful children. We also have Assistant Professor Fakru Diasari, PhD, who will discuss the topic on green economy. So Fahrul Diasari is an assistant professor and has joined PGRI at Buona University since 2012. He was the vice dean of college students from 2016 to 2020, and currently he is the head of the institution planning at PGRI at Buona University. He did his PhD at Airlangga University, Economic Science, and he focuses on research in human resource management in creative industry and green economic, and teaches human resource management, research method, and managerial economics. So there you have it, folks, our breakout room speakers. I hope you're all excited as I am to engage with these fantastic experts. Again, if you want to join the technopreneurship discussions, please join Breakout Room 1. And for Breakout Room 2, you may join using the Breakout Room options below your screen. So you may now join, guys. Again, for Technopreneurship, please join Breakout Room 1. And for Ecopreneurship, please join Breakout Room 2. Also, may I remind everyone to rename their participant ID using their school underscore first name and then the last name. So as of now, we have 50 participants for Ecopreneurship and we have 63 participants for Technopreneurship. Again, if you plan to join the breakout room 1, the topic on breakout room 1 is Technopreneurship, and for breakout room 2, it's Ecopreneurship. Okay, as of now, we have 92 participants for Ecopreneurship and 88 participants for Technopreneurship. If you're using your PC, please go to the bottom part of your screen and choose which breakout room should you belong to. So for Technopreneurship, again, that's for breakout room 1, and for Ecopreneurship, that's for breakout room 2.
lilipat ako sa room.
I'll inform them po, ma'am.
Dapat nasa 1 po ako. May naglipat po sa akin sa 2. Dapat nasa tech, nagsasalita na ako doon eh.
Okay po.
Yan. Okay po.
Recording stopped.
So hello everyone. If you plan to join the Technopreneurship, please join breakout room 1
Recording in progress.
and breakout room 2 for Ecopreneurship. So if you're using your PC, please go to the bottom part of your screen and choose which breakout room you want to join into. And if you are using your phone, you may you should check your screen and see that there's a breakout room option at the bottom part of your screen. Okay po. Again, for those who are still at the main room, you may join Technopreneurship on breakout room 1, and for Ecopreneurship, that's on breakout room 2. So if you're using your PC, you can see the breakout room option at the bottom part of your screen. And if you're using your phone, you can also see the breakout room option at the bottom of your phone screen. Again, for Technopreneurship, that's breakout room 1, and for Ecopreneurship, that's breakout room 2. I can see that there are still 104 students who have not joined any of the breakout rooms. So for Technopreneurship, please join breakout room 1, and for Ecopreneurship, please join breakout room 2.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Yes, sir.
The link, Pak. The link, where the link?
Sir, if you're using your PC, you can see the breakout room choices at the bottom of your screen. Please choose the breakout room where you should where you should belong to, or which breakout room should you choose. So first, for breakout room 1, that's Technopreneurship. For breakout room 2, that's Ecopreneurship. If you are using your phone, you can see the choice for the breakout room at the bottom part of your screen. So for those who just joined, please choose which breakout room do you want to join into. So for Technopreneurship, that's breakout room 1, and for Ecopreneurship, that's breakout room 2.
Entrepreneurship and financial technology. So with financial entrepreneurship, we have here the illustration of the overall view of what financial entrepreneurship here. When we talk about financial entrepreneurship, we talk about the means by which an entrepreneur would be able to come up with the necessary capitalization for them to start their business. So when we talk about the means, that is, they are deciding on the financing. That is whether they use their own money, they borrow. When we say borrow, where will they be getting and where will they be borrowing the money from, as well as various ways of raising funds, which we will be discussing today. So the entrepreneur, sorry, or the explorer as we call him, would now be trying to come up with a business, but it is also imperative that you will have to consider risks, because when we go into business ventures, there's always the possibility that we will encounter success or we could be encountering failure. For both, should we encounter success, what do we do then? When we encounter failure, what do we do as well? Because what we want to have is for an improved operation of the enterprise. So what is entrepreneurial finance? It refers to the process of acquiring capital and making financial decisions for a new venture or a startup. So overall, entrepreneurial finance for that matter would just simply pertain to where to get the needed funds. And for us to do this, we should also have the study of value and resource allocation centered around new businesses and the owner's challenge to acquire the funding needed to test whether the business can become financially sustainable in the long run. There are various types of entrepreneurs now. We have what we call the angel investors, or these are business angels who are a group of entrepreneurs or former executives who have amassed personal wealth through a variety of sources. These high net worth individuals provide the venture capital, and often they co-invest alongside a trusted associate into the same or similar industries in which their experience lies. In fact, there are also various TV shows now which shows angel investors looking for possible investments. We also have the venture capitalist, which is a form of private equity. And this type of entrepreneurship financing is often reserved for startups and small businesses, which have the high growth potential for long-term success. This generally comes from well-off investors, investment banks, and other forms of financial institutions. And these venture capitalists do not always provide the investment. So they don't just simply give.
Recording in
about
progress.
the automation, or at least about the data analysis. And of course, the skill, it's like the soft skills, it's like leadership, self-organization, and teamwork, interdisciplinary, innovasi, flexibility, self-management, and etc. So we can conclude if human-machine interaction, technology connectivity, and learning between the two form, it's called about Industry 4.0. So you can prepare yourself to see what knowledge and skill you have, and then what I can improve for it. Okay, if we talk about the industry, it's like large business. How if we will going to transformation of the small medium enterprise? So this is the problem. What if the company is SME? One of the barriers to digital transformation is the delivery of effective digitalization effort to small and medium enterprise. SME are faced with conditions that often prohibit from improving their business model by adopting advanced technology. Even though large company usually generate sufficient revenue to enable advanced automation and digitalization despite the large costs associated with digital transformation. I don't say this only in my opinion, but it's from paper. So the problem is, if we want to transform to digital, we need to large cost. So how if SME can make to digital transformation with the less cost? Okay, we're going to next point. This is the digital transformation of SME, why it's important digital transformation for of SME. The first I share you, it's global socio-economic and market change. So if there are many changes at the market and then the global socio-economic, so small medium-sized enterprise need to move to the digital transformation. It's Forbes et al. 2020-30. And then the second is surprising inflation, associated uncertainty, and possible recession. It's forcing SME to adapt their business model and strategy. And for the last is the digital transformation is changing the traditional business model of SME and customer value. So digital transformation can changing anything, and for SME too. And then the problem is, this is the gap. Adoption are large in many areas. So we can see if this part of small, medium, and large, there are many gaps in here. We can see if the lowest is about the big data in here. For the small, is the big data. For P2G is okay, but the big data is lowest. So, and then the radio frequency identification, yeah, we can see in here. So we can improve the SME from that. We can help them with knowledge about like big data, how can they use, or how can they use the free online platform to improve their business or etc. Okay, I adopt this table from OECD. It is about the SME business. SME business function on online platform. So if we being a student or lecturer, we can help them to share about how the SME can move to digital transformation with the online platform. For example, in here, if they want to marketing, advertising, branding, customer service, and external communication, they can use the Google or the Facebook or the YouTube. Or if they want to the e-commerce or online market, they can use Amazon or eBay, or if in Indonesia, the Shopee, Lazada, etc. And many more. So we can help them to sharing this platform, online platform, and how to use this to improve their SME, even they don't have many costs, and they can improve their self with the digital transformation. And if you want to be a technopreneurship, or you want to be a startup or something like that, make a new, this is the table for you. This is the implication of AI on SME business, environment, and practice. So if you will focus on our agriculture, so you can use the agri-robot and drones. This is, for example, business application of AI. And you can use the camera or combining the satellite data or image recognition and predictive analytics. And if you going to the food, accommodation and food, in here, you can use from AI-powered chatbot, or to face recognition, to smart device and automatizing, or machine learning based on customer occupancy and guest feedback data. So you can make like your platform by yourself and use the AI. You can make like a chatbot or a face recognition and etc. This is if you want to make your business to the digital. And this side, if you want to help SME to do the digital with the less cost, of course. Okay, and then what I did and what I do in the future, this is my roadmap. Actually, the first, in the last year, I'm focused on big data and machine learning. It's for upgrade my ability to help the SME, and of course I help SME in the design product and digital marketing. And after that, for now, until I'm graduate from PhD, I use natural language processing for my research. It can be for management studies. If you do qualitative data, you can do manually, but if you use natural language processing, you can you can make a short description for the interview or something like that. Okay, and for now, I will share you, and this is the reference. You can check, and the PPT will share to you guys. So this is I open collaboration if you want to discuss or you want to trying how the big data can solve the problem. The first is about the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is like if you going to the GoFood. In Filipina have the GoFood, maybe, yeah. So if you online delivery for food and they comment and the rating and the review, so we can do the sentiment analysis about the positive or negative in the comment. And the second is about the news and management. The news and management is about how we know the factor or implication of something problem from the description of news in the website, of course, and then what we can improve for our business or etc. The third is like 1 and 2 is qualitative method by text modeling, and of course the last is digitalization of SME. Okay, facilitator, can I have time again? Can I share my video?
Okay, you can share your video.
Oh, okay. Okay, for the last, I will share you about what we did before with the disabilities SME. Okay, wait.
So while Professor Evita is preparing video, maybe the others, you can ask questions to the chat, and she will be answering all your questions after the second speaker.
Kebijakan Kampus Merdeka Merdeka Belajar bertujuan untuk meningkatkan kualitas dan relevansi lulusan program sarjana melalui peningkatan kualitas dosen perguruan tinggi serta peningkatan kualitas kurikulum dan proses pembelajaran. Direktorat Jenderal Pendidikan Tinggi berupaya mendorong, memfasilitasi, dan mempercepat perguruan tinggi dalam menerapkan kebijakan kampus Merdeka Merdeka Belajar untuk mencapai 8 indikator kinerja utama dengan merancang suatu program pendanaan kemitraan, salah satunya yang dikemas dalam bentuk program Matching Fund. Program ini dirancang untuk meningkatkan kemanfaatan dan relevansi sekaligus menyelaraskan pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi yang terjadi di perguruan tinggi agar selaras dengan pemenuhan kebutuhan dan pemecahan permasalahan dari dunia usaha dan dunia industri serta masyarakat. Universitas PGRI Adi Buwana Surabaya sebagai pelaksana program Matching Fund pendanaan tahun 2021 ini mengusung kegiatan proyek kemanusiaan sebagai program utama. Dalam pelaksanaannya, Unipa Surabaya bermitra dengan PT Nutrifood Indonesia Jawa Timur sebagai unsur BIDI yang berperan menyelaraskan permasalahan dunia usaha dan juga masyarakat. Proyek kemanusiaan ini menyasar kepada Yayasan Disabilitas Naima Trenggalek, sebuah yayasan yang fokus pada pemberdayaan individu penyandang disabilitas di daerah Kabupaten Trenggalek dan sekitarnya. Yayasan Naima menaungi pengusaha-pengusaha disabilitas yang memiliki motivasi tinggi untuk berwirausaha. Tapi karena keterbatasan mereka, perlu adanya pembinaan agar mereka dapat menjadi pengusaha disabilitas yang mandiri dan berdaya saing global. Terdapat 7 pengusaha disabilitas yang mendapat pendampingan dalam proyek kemanusiaan ini, yaitu usaha catering, hiburan, pijat tunanetra, sablon, kerajinan, percetakan, dan disabilitas yang baru akan memulai usaha. Kegiatan ini melibatkan 35 mahasiswa yang dibagi menjadi kelompok-kelompok kecil untuk memberikan pelatihan dan pendampingan usaha kepada masing-masing pengusaha penyandang disabilitas. Hasil dari program ini adalah berupa peningkatan kualitas produk, peningkatan kualitas tempat usaha, peningkatan skills keterampilan pengusaha disabilitas, serta peningkatan strategi marketing, khususnya dalam digital marketing. Program Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka memberikan kesempatan kepada mahasiswa untuk berkegiatan di luar kampus untuk berkontribusi lebih dalam bidang kemanusiaan. Dengan program ini diharapkan mahasiswa memiliki kepekaan sosial yang tinggi serta turut berkontribusi aktif untuk mencari solusi yang dihadapi masyarakat, apalagi di masa sekarang ini.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Evita.
Yeah.
Although we didn't understand it, maybe you can just give us a brief story about what you have presented. And by the way, MSE is medium and small enterprises. So I think someone asked what is MSE.
Okay. So the video is about what we did with the SME with disabilities. It's a program from Matching Fund. We collaborate with the industry in here. It's Nutri-Food. It's Java. So we scale up or making better for their business. It's like there are many businesses like 7 or 6, and we improve with the digital marketing, of course, and then how to make a good product and the design product. Yeah.
It's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
I actually see future collaboration also with St. Louis University and your university. I am actually into transportation, so maybe I can text you later.
Okay.
For that very, very informative talk for digital or digitalization of SME.
Yeah.
So now proceed to the second speaker. Please keep your questions after the second speaker. We can accommodate your questions. So for the second speaker to give us her experience, her journey as a researcher and as an entrepreneur, let us all welcome Engineer Melissa Buato. Take it away, Miss Melissa.
Hello, good morning. May I just check if I am audible?
Yes, you are audible.
All right. And is my screen already showing?
Yes, it's already there. Okay, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. So at first, I entitled my sharing as a journey from researcher to entrepreneur. But I think I would agree with Engineer Cora, who said researcher and entrepreneur. So I'm going to share with you my ongoing journey. And in other words, this is a sharing from a study, right, from the university to the community. And it's basically a timeline of what I've learned so far. I had a lot of business opportunities. They have come my way already. But at that time, I didn't have the mindset nor the skill to act on them properly. So I would re-echo from Professor Ngawasi a while ago that really entrepreneurial mind is very important. You have to have a shift in mindset. So having been assigned to talk here today, especially on technopreneurship, forced me to reflect on my experiences thus far. So it's not a painful force, but really I had the time to sit down and reflect. I was this wannabe entrepreneur. So I will share with you my mistakes, but nonetheless, valuable lessons. So as early as 22 years old, when I was actually still here, wait. Are you seeing the slideshow?
Can you do that again? We're just looking into the small bits. So
the small bits, all right. Share screen. All right, so this one, are you seeing the big presentation right now?
This one is better.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, so I hope you got that bit. Okay, so I was this wannabe entrepreneur before, and on the side, you would see here some of the business venture that I went out so far. So let me start with my mistakes. So these are mistakes, but yes, these are valuable lessons. And again, I was really caught by the words of Professor Ngausi a while ago, that entrepreneurship is usually linked to making mistakes, to becoming our frequent failure. So this was my first business venture. So as early as 22 years old, I entered into a business partnership with a few friends to create a production company. And I actually messaged my friend earlier that, hey, we still have this company that is registered and we're not doing anything about it. So back then, I called myself a visual artist. So Photoshop and the likes were not a common skill right now, because even AI can do graphics today. So at that time, I didn't know the value of my work. I was making logos and product labels and selling them for 200 or 500 pesos. When we all know that branding and advertising costs hundreds of pesos, right? So my lesson one would be to know the value of your work. Okay. There was also a time when I did commission work and I did not have a contract of agreement. I felt I didn't need one because this was just simple tasks of designing and creating. But it cost me time and effort because the people were asking for so many revisions. So it cost me really time. So my first lesson was, to know the value of your work, not just the monetary value, but sometimes people need something that you can offer. The second is to have written agreements and set expectations. There's nothing wrong with putting things in black and white so that we have a set agreement. Okay. The next one, a few years on, we created Tryon Affairs. I'm sorry, can the people in the background please mute their microphones?
USU, kindly mute your microphone, please. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so I had this wedding and events coordination business. So I was still in the creatives portion. I considered myself an event coordinator, dabbling in stage design and graphics design. So at that point, we were trying to target the management aspect of events more than the usual aesthetics. Okay, but as newbies, again, we didn't know how to market our service. We didn't know how to communicate what we are trying to offer. We didn't know how to put forward our value proposition. So our initial customers were friends and acquaintances, and it eventually died out after 3 to 4 years. So our tagline was, we think of everything. We wanted clients to know that they can rely on us for the things that maybe that passed their mind because they were so caught up in doing the event. So sometimes clients don't know what they need. Lesson number 3 is know how to communicate the product or service that you are offering. So what am I getting out of these varied experiences? So you might be thinking, this is technopreneurship. You're sharing some of your mishaps. Because it's really up to you. Not all the perspectives we hear are going to be helpful. Okay. I have heard my mother say, hindi tayo para dyan. Hindi natin linya yan. In other words, we're not business people. That's not our line of work. We are professionals, we are intellectuals. So I guess more than criticism, I didn't find it as a criticism. It's just a way of giving her words of consolation when things didn't work out. So for a long time, I believed her, right? So I believed, but now I believe to choose otherwise. I choose to believe otherwise. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, I love my mother. Actually, she is an inspiration and she is very supportive of what her children aspire to do. But this is a reality, right? So when people are not sure about what you're getting into, they will of course give out their opinion. And this is part of the journey where you have to push through despite the hurdles. So why is a chemical engineer talking to us about entrepreneurship? So let's go to the research part. Okay. So this is my thesis back in 2016. So when I was doing a thesis in graduate school, I got interested in research. So I loved the idea of discovering things, of looking for solutions to the issues that are of specific interest to me. So I was working on an emissions control device for jeepneys, a kind of catalytic converter, if you are more familiar with that. Here, so we did a lot of simulations and design things. Okay, so in one of my presentations at the CIRIB Center, I mentioned about the idea of creating a similar technology, but one that can be applied on the walls. So a kind of wall covering that can absorb pollution. I didn't think of it as a big deal that time, but one of the leads recognized it as having potential, not something marketable. That was my mindset. And so lesson 4 is you will need others to see things from a different perspective. So this is where I kind of changed my mindset. So this time it had a name. Okay, so it Zeoskin. So it somehow got catapulted because it was used as a case study in the Hear It program. So one of the mentors took interest in it and suggested that it be incubated. So this is the journey so far. So at CIRIB Center, we were considered as a batch 1 incubatee together with Upscale Innovation Hub at UP Diliman. So for the information of everybody, business incubators refer to groups that give startup companies or early stage businesses access to networks, financiers or funding opportunities, and mentors, as well as co-working spaces so that we can widen our network and talk with seasoned experts. So at that time, I also got some friends who might be interested to be co-founders of the prospective startup company. Though even up to now, I haven't officially started that company yet. Okay. The original team did not work out. We were mostly technical people. We didn't have a variety of talent. They were also very cautious. That is a natural response, I guess, for people who are not exposed to doing business or who are not, who are in that kind of technical bubble. So lesson number 5 is to widen your network to include people with different expertise. So even as I mentioned all these lessons, they are still learning points for me up to this time. Okay. So as a result of the incubation and the funding that we got from the OST, okay, the incubator helped me by submitting the initial proposal to the Department of Science and Technology, where I had to defend it at several stages until it was approved by December 2019. And of course, in 2020, we all know what happened. We had the pandemic. But during the pandemic, while most people were at home, my research assistants and I were at the lab working and cooking something up. And we now have the product. Okay. We had also here the research outputs of some students during the pandemic. Okay. And I also helped a colleague of mine graduate her master's degree in environmental engineering. So now we have Zeoskin. Imagine walls that can clean the air we breathe. So this is a patent pending technology, and I wish to pursue it in the near future. And I hope to make things happen. So I've mentioned earlier that I've had a lot of opportunities before, but I didn't have the right lenses to see it as business opportunities. So instead of just sitting by in the lab and doing stuff, we have to make our ideas reach the community. We have to make things happen. So in summary, let me end with 3 pieces of advice. So entrepreneurship is a skill. So it is not something to be afraid of. It can be learned. And learning happens when you reflect on your experiences. And finally, as an academic, ideas are merely ideas. So if you don't act on it, it is just there in your mind. So add value to it by implementing it. So thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Wow, that was very nice. Thank you for the 3 pieces of advice. So we'll be learning, and we learned a lot from this one. So we now start with the question and answer. I think we have one question. Unfortunately, something happened with my internet. So probably Professor Evita, maybe you can read the question that is in the chat. Maybe you can read it first and then kindly please answer the question. You can also ask questions to Engineer Melissa. Please do not hesitate to ask questions. It's the opportunity for you guys to learn from the experts. Professor Evita.
Okay. For me, it's from Angelo. Yes. Good morning, Madam Evita Purnaningrum. Ma'am, what is the meaning of MSEs that have you said well ago? And it's medium and small enterprise. Yeah. Oh, what is that? What the next? There is no question again.
There is a second question.
No, I can see in here.
May we request the one who asked the question number 2, maybe you can unmute yourself. What about the others? Maybe you can ask questions, please. Do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed to ask questions.
Yes, let's have fun.
Yes.
The last rule is let's have fun.
We have a lot of time spent for question and answer.
Yeah.
Questions? We have the second question a while ago, but unfortunately, I left the room because of internet problems. So I hope that he or she is still here.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
From direct message.
Yes.
It's from Jeff from SLU. Hello, I will like to ask this question from Ma'am Evita. What are some of the biggest roadblock at MSE face along the journey, and what advice would you give them? And second is, wow, this too much. Okay, it's okay. What on the first side that the digital transformation needs to be adjusted. And the last is there is a dilemma nowadays that young generation will prefer being digital content creator or known as vlogger. Do you think this is a good sign for digitalization? Wow, okay. I will answer for the first. What are some of the biggest roadblock for MSE face along the journey, and what would advice would you give them? For me, for the experience, cause I'm focused in the MSE with disabilities, so we cannot act like another people, so we need to make the special case. And what we do, we learn how to make like the sign language or something like that, and help them to the digital marketing, and trying to make the business going to the like e-commerce, and teaching them with the YouTube or etc. And the second, what the first side of the digital transformation need to be adjusted? I don't think so, but my focus is about the artificial intelligence or something like that. So the first saying, if you want to move to the digital transformation, you need know more about the algorithm. Yeah, less lah, or the artificial intelligence, something like ChatGPT, if you know about that, or Preparator or something like that. Okay, for the dilemma, where you dilemma in the nowadays? There is dilemma nowadays that young generation will prefer being digital content creator or known as vlogger. Do you think this is a good sign for digitalization? Yeah, the vlogger is good digitalization. It's like you use the online platform or something like that, but the first thing is about the skill, how you make self-improvement, or so you need not about how to use the content creator or make the digital content, but you need to know about what the content it is, and the skill, how to the attitude, how to the leadership or etc. So you need the skill and you need the knowledge. Of the digital content creator is the knowledge, but you need to have the skill also, and you will get with in the university. Okay, maybe this is my answer. I'm sorry if like
Much. 5 minutes. So anyone? Professor Melissa, Engineer Melissa, do you have a direct question from the chat?
Hello, I haven't received additional question.
Okay, thank you. Oh, this group is so quiet.
Yes, it's like a zombie.
Maybe they are just ashamed to ask questions.
Yeah.
Come on, we have 4 minutes. Maybe we can ask one more from the participants. Come on, guys, do not worry. We're not gonna bite. But Professor Evita, you'll be open for a collaboration with the researchers from St. Louis University.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, we can do collaboration even with lecture or with the study. Yeah, because it's too much. In the digital era, we need too much collaboration on it.
Professor Melissa, are you already in a stage where you are commercializing or you are selling already your product? I think you have already your prototype, or is this still under study?
We have a workable prototype, and we could go and commercialize it. It's just getting the right momentum for it.
Will it take long?
I'm looking at by the end of the year, I hope to have that team already, and that we can move forward with the commercialization process.
That's good. That's good. Is it my chat or really there is no question? Okay, anyway, I think we don't have any more questions from our participants. Again, thank you to our two speakers who gave us a lot of information about digitalization, and of course, the journey of for Ma'am Melissa for a while. There's a question for Ma'am Melissa. Ma'am, if there will be any improvement you want to do in your project right now?
Yeah, I think from the initial concerns of yes, it will.
Okay. Don't have any more questions. I think we need to go back and leave this room. So again, the participants, the 125 quiet participants, thank you for listening. And I hope that you learned something from our two speakers. Okay, bye. And let's go back to the main room.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Professor Evita, and she started to introduce herself and her projects focused on the community service. And in her talk, she introduced AI and also showed the Indonesia's review of the Indonesia's digital transformation, and also introduced to us the Industry 4.0. Are we going to stop for the Angelus?
You may proceed, ma'am.
Okay. So as I was saying, she introduced the Industry 4.0 and also showed to us the conceptual map. She also discussed the SMEs, and she's focused on the community service. She said that one of the major Problem is it would require large costs for the SMEs to digitalize their services or their businesses. So she also mentioned about the gaps, the problems, and how to use the free online platforms to the SMEs, specifically to the people with disability. And she also presented to us some solutions on how to be prepared and also how to pronounce or how to process the understanding of digitalization. Professor Evita also answered the two questions. It's about the meaning of MSME or the MSE, and also the dilemma that has to be faced or has to be considered in the platform. So she mentioned about the preparation of the person to help the MSMEs or the SMEs. That is number one, the skill to improve, and of course, the knowledge. The second speaker discussed to us her journey from researcher to an entrepreneur or a technopreneur. She said that she missed a lot of opportunities because of the lack of mindset as an entrepreneur. So she reflected on the past and also provided to us some mistakes. And these are, she said, are the valuable lessons. So at 22, she started with a production company, and she did not value her product that time. So the first lesson was to know the value of the work. The second was to have written agreements and to set expectations. And she went on with the journey of the Zeoskin. And the third one to also take note is to know how to communicate the product or communicate your product, and not to listen to others, but that to realize that there is a need for others to see the things in the project or in the business, their perspective, and also to widen the network. So for now, she said that the Zeoskin is it's processing its patent. And in short, she said that you have to make things happen. So 3 pieces of advice from her. She said that we have to consider that entrepreneur skill is a skill, and we have to reflect on our failures or experiences. And from ideas, we have to act on it.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Maria Corazon, for synthesizing our topics on technopreneurship. On the other hand, let us call on Mr. Nasruddin Latif to provide insights on the topics on ecopreneurship.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, friends, for the session. I talk with the others, and now about what they say from Prof. Zenidit Monang. That's about financial. That's 2 keywords I can write about financial technology and financial technology ecosystem. Prof. Zenidit Monang asked about fintechs, digital payment, digital banking, investment, fraud, funding, P2P, funding, blockchain, insurance technology and regulation technology. So about source of venture, about financing, the commitment, access to money or credit or raising fund. So the second from Prof. Sinidit to say about technology ecosystem. It's very important to discuss that session. The first about financial customer, about traditional financing institution, and how about government to claim about the ecosystem, and about technology development, and actually how about develop fintech startup right now? So her statement is very important to how to building the financial technology and millennial era now, after pandemic. It's a very dynamic and there are so many problems to discuss the next time. So I would to write about how to say from Prof. Prof. Ashari about green economy. He say about also model of sustainable economic development with using knowledge of ecological economics and being able to improve welfare and social equality of society. So this offer the how to say this relate about 8 goals of MDGs. First, ending poverty and hunger, to creating basic education for all, promote gender equality and women's empowerment, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, fight AIDS, malaria, and other infectious disease, and ensuring the professionalization of life. So the next about green economics related to MDGs, related about how bit global partnership for development. So to speakers give inspiring with us about financial and economics insight. Maybe that's more I can share information for two with Prof. Sindit Monang and Assistant Prof. Fakhrudi Asyari. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nasruddin, for providing insights on the topic on ecopreneurship. Also, Mr. Nasruddin Latif will introduce our next speaker. Miss, who is us? Yes, sir. Miss. Okay. So our next speaker is Assistant Professor Tony Susilo Wibowo, and he will present his topic on digital literization for SME.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rema. Wait, let me share screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you for the opportunity, especially for the honorable Vice Rector Unipa, Ibu Dwi Retnani, and the Honorable Reverend Father Gilbert, and also the Honorable Rector of SLU, Professor Lorraine Hausi. And this is my presentation about digital literation for SMEs. As we know that in Indonesia, the contribution of SMEs is pretty significant. As we can see on the illustration on the left of your screen, the number of SMEs in Indonesia is 64.2 million, and the contribution of SMEs in Indonesia is 61.07. This is the data from March 2021. And in the East Java province, the contribution of SMEs to product domestic regional brutto for the year
Pakibantay pag pumasok si Sir Joy dyan. Ay,
for the year 2020 is
si Sir Joy Gutierrez.
0.25%. And on your right screen, the illustration here, the number of SMEs is 64.2, and the total for the job employment is 99%, and the small and medium enterprise, which is sell in online, is 17.1%, and they can absorb 97% this from the small and medium enterprises, and the contribution for product domestic brutto 9%, and the field of their business is in the farming and also in fishery. This is 49%, and for trading is 29%, and the absorption of investment is 50%. And the illustration below, the number of the small and medium enterprise, the upper is medium enterprise is 0.70%, which is 68,835%, and for small enterprise is 5.92%, and for the micro enterprise is the biggest, which is 93.37%. And as we know that we already dealing with the pandemic, and it has changed our business climate, and most of the survival in the business change their platform to digital, and the business owner need to adapt to new environment. It means they have to ready to new normal in business. So they need to increase the productivity and efficiency, and one of the approach, or we can say solution, maybe the digital approach is very important. So the biggest question here is, what do SMEs need to be able to compete in digital era? And one of the answer is digital iteration, because in many area in Indonesia, small and medium enterprise having difficulties to understand what is digital or digital business. So they need to understand about digital business by understanding also the digital iteration. From the theoretical perspective, Potter mentioned that a set of perspective that we actively expose ourselves into the media to interpret the meaning of the message we encounter. And the second theory from Reddy mentioned that digital literacy is the ability to use the technologies which were efficient and appropriate to produce information with new insights. And about the digital iteration, more detail, I also mentioned from Wheeler the element of digital iteration. The first one is social networking, which is the person or the business person need to understand how to use the features of the social networking and the function, and also they have to do the ethical things in social media. And the second is transliteracy. So the business person need to know or to understand the ability to use the platform, application, and operating system. It means that they have to understand about the operating system, which one is give more advantage for the business, and many other platform or application that they need to use or choose to increase their business. And the third is maintaining privacy. They have to be able to avoid and prevent cybercrime, because we know that nowadays we have so many kind of cybercrime like carding and phishing and many other cybercrime. So when the business person or the business person in small and medium enterprise understand about digital, or we can say that, or I can say that they know how to be digital literate, they need to maintain their privacy. And the fourth is managing digital identity. This is also important to use the identity in social media, because we know that when people facing their social media, sometimes they fake their identity, so it is not good for the business. So for this one, small and medium enterprise need to know that they have or they understand about digital identity. And the fifth is creating content. For creating content, the person or the business person need to know how to choose their content, and they need to mix the content and create something that really interesting in online platform. And also they can organize and sharing content, which is they need to share the content to the right target, like marketing target or the other target they need to share for the content. And the seventh is reusing or repurposing content. They need to use the content. They don't have to create a new one because it will be faster and it will be more efficient to reuse or repurposing the content. And the next, number 8, is filtering and selecting content. How to find, filter, and select the content. And number 9 is self-broadcasting, how they can share their creative idea or content to the forum. They can join to many forums and they can sell, say like, sell to share the creative content to the media. And the next for digital literacy component, this is from Ready. Beside from Wheeler, we also have the digital literacy component from Ready. It is also important for small and medium enterprise. When they want to join in the online business, they need to be literate with this component. The first one is information literacy. For information literacy, they need to know or they need to find, locate, analyze, synthesize resources and evaluating the credibility of these resources. So we know that in our media or online media, we have so many news and anything that sometimes is not really clear the sources. So for the person who has the digital literacy, they need to know or understand which one is really precious or not, or this is just hoax, or they can choose the useful information. And the second is computer literacy, how they can use computers, digital technologies, and their application for practical use. It means that they know how to use the gadget, the smartphone, because now the form of the computer is so many. Mostly right now is smartphone. They know how to use to optimize the smartphone to increase their business. And for the third is media literacy. It's about to use digital technologies to access, analyze, evaluate, and communicate information. They know how to choose the right media to promote their business. They know to choose the right media to increase or to develop their business. And number 4 is communication literacy, to communicate effectively as individuals and work collaboratively in groups. They know how to communicate effectively, which one or who's the person who will be receive the message, and also how they can join in a group to increase their business. And visual literacy, how they can use the digital technology to read, interpret, and understand information. It means that they know how to understand and to use, because when they see some pictures and graphs or something that in a visual shape, they understand how to understand the visual shape. And also number 6 is technological literacy, ability to use digital technology to improve learning, productivity, and performance. It means that with the touch of technology, they know how to increase their business or to develop their business. And about the literacy, digital literacy, I can also give the example of the research. The first one is entrepreneurial performance, the role of literacy and skills, from Indonesian authors. This research aims to determine the direct and indirect effects of digital literacy, economic literacy, and entrepreneurial skills on the performance of small and medium enterprise in garment clusters in Depok, a city near Jakarta. And the number of respondents is 90. And the result is digital literacy has the greatest influence on the performance of SMEs entrepreneurs, both directly and indirectly. And the second research is from Alison Olorenshaw. The title, Increasing the Digital Literacy Skills of Regional SMEs Through High-Speed Broadband Access. The research aim is to examine the impact on participants' perceived digital literacy awareness and knowledge of online services and their skills development. So for this research, the small and medium enterprise is given some kind of training to support their business. And the result is the training support, knowledge transfer, learning and skills development, fostering confidence about digital technologies. And the third research is from Nick Dredakis. The title is Improving Entrepreneurs' Digital Skills and Firms' Digital Competencies Through Business Apps Training, a Study of Small Firms. So this research is giving the treatment to SMEs in the form of training of business apps and evaluate the result before and after training. And the result here is business apps training was positively associated with entrepreneurs' attitudes toward technology, willingness to change, which is relating to technology or skills or operations, and internet or digital skills, as well as an increased use of business apps. And for my next research, well, I can say here is not really future because I almost say like I did the research, but it's not complete yet. The title is The Influence of Entrepreneurial Skills, Digital Iteration, Growth Mindset with Spirituality as Intervening Variable, and Business Sustainability as Mediating Variable to SME's Performance in Culinary Sector in Gerbang Kertosusila on New Normal Era. So Gerbang Kertosusila here is the acronym of 6 big cities in East Java, which has biggest product domestic regional brutto to the province, and all the numbers of the SMEs is 1,594,599. And this is the conceptual framework for my next research. And this is the references. So thank you very much for the attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Assistant Professor Wilbo, for sharing us your presentation on digital literation for SMEs. Indeed, digital literation, especially media and information literacy, is needed not just as a knowledge, but also as a skill for everyone, especially for MSMEs. So let's give him a round of applause. Okay. Now let's call on Dr. Grace Carrido, External Relations, Media and Communications and Alumni Affairs Director of St. Louis University, and Assistant Professor Hertiki, Head of International Relations Office of PGRI at Buona University for the awarding of certificates.
Mutiki, kindly read, and then we will just read the names.
Okay, so I'll start first, yeah? Okay, on the behalf of the committee between St. Louis University Philippines and also Universitas PGRI di Buona Surabaya, I would like to give the certificate of appreciation to Ms. Lauren Ngausi for the wonderful and insightful explanation and also sharing for this webinar. So I do hope this certificate will be remembered for you to be as a speaker for our webinar. So hopefully we can have another webinar also in the future. Thank you.
Okay. So a certificate of appreciation. This is to certify Assistant Professor Tony Susilo Wibobo for his remarkable contribution in the international webinar entitled Beaconomics, Discovering the Light of Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship between St. Louis University, Philippines, and Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya, Indonesia, conducted on May 2, 2023, signed by the University President of St. Louis University and the Rector of Universitas PGRI Adibuana, Surabaya, Indonesia. Okay, the next certificates are given to Assistant Professor Evita Pornaningrum and Engineer Melissa May Embuado, Dr. Zenidith P. Mona, Assistant Professor Fakrudi Asjari, PhD. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma'am Grace and Ma'am Hertiki. Also, on behalf of Reverend Father Gilbert B. Salas, let us welcome back Ma'am Grace Carino for the closing remarks.
So on behalf of the university president, to the administration officials and resource speakers of Universitas PGRI Adibuana of Surabaya, Indonesia, Dr. Dwi Retnani Srinarwati, the Vice Rector, Assistant Professor Tony Susilo Wibobo, Assistant Professor Evita Purnaningrum, and Assistant Professor Fakrudi Asjari. To the speakers from our university, St. Louis University, Ms. Lorraine Ngausi, Engineer Melissa May Embuado, and Dr. Zenedith Timonang. To all the students who are participating, to our virtual participants to this webinar, including the staff and faculty of the other universities. Discovering the Light of Ecopreneurship and Technopreneurship, a pleasant morning to all. Ecopreneurship and technopreneurship are emerging concepts that identify innovations in the market opportunities for new products and services in a more environmentally friendly way that consider the process of merging technology and entrepreneurial talent and skill. This webinar is a very timely sharing of input from the two known universities that really respond to the call of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, specifically goals number 8, decent work and economic growth, and number 11, sustainable cities and community, and of course, number 12, responsible consumption and production. It is not enough to think on how to produce, to sell, and make our products profitable in the market. The invaluable lessons we learned from the sharing of our able resource speakers contributed much to our awareness and involvement as responsible producers and consumers. By doing so, we are also protecting our environment and natural resources as we give justice to our fellow men by becoming dependable manufacturers. Dear friends, in our time and age as we dream to improve our life, we also need to become more aware and become collaborative on how to consider the sustainability in the production, manufacturing, and business world. We need to put into practice the invaluable lessons presented to us in this webinar. Once again, I am personally grateful to the partnership and to the various activities that we plan for the betterment of our services, not compromising the welfare of our consumers and Mother Earth. A blessed day to all of us, and good afternoon, everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Carito. Indeed, we need to become more aware and become collaborative on how to consider the sustainability in the production, manufacturing, and the business world. Before we end, I would like to request your participation in our post-event evaluation by scanning the QR code flashed on your screen. Please take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation form. Your feedback is important to us and we appreciate your time and effort. Upon submitting the evaluation form, you will receive a certificate of participation via email. So please make sure to provide your correct email address. Again, please take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation form. Your feedback is important to us and we appreciate your time and effort. Upon submitting the evaluation form, you will receive a certificate of participation via email. Also, while you guys are filling up the evaluation form, we would like to thank the SLU administration led by Reverend Father Gilbert P. Sales, ICM, UNIPA Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Dr. Dwi Ratnani Srinarwati, External Relations, Media and Communications, and Alumni Affairs Director of St. Louis University, headed by Dr. Grace Carrido, Internal Relations Office of PGRI Adibuena University, headed by Assistant Professor Hertiki. Our speakers, Professor Lorraine Yausi, Assistant Professor Evita Purnaningrum, Professor Zenedith P. Monang, Assistant Professor Fah Rudy Asari, Professor Tony Susilo Wilbowo, the UNIPA Vice Rector for Human Resource and Cooperation, Dr. Ntong Lasiono, UNIPA Vice Rector for Finance, Dr. C.P. Stikoro, SLU, School of Accountancy Management, Computing and Information Studies, Dean OIC Dean, April M. Gumnat, SLU School of Engineering and Architecture, Dean Jeffrey Desbenwag, SLU School of Engineering and Architecture Associate Dean, Caroline Bautista, our facilitators, Ma'am Maria Corazon Ocampo and Mr. Nasruddin Latif, our participants for today's event, students from St. Louis University, students from University of St. Louis Tuguegarao, of course, our students from MMSU. I saw MMSU a while back. Of course, another one, students from Adibuena University, Surabaya. Of course, Quirino State University. Who else? Yeah. Let us also acknowledge some of the faculty attendees. Dr. Carazeli Aison Furigay, the Department Head of Business Economics and Financial Management of SLU, and Professor Leilani de Guzman, Department Head of Entrepreneurship, Human Resource, and Marketing Management. Again, I'm encouraging everyone to take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation form. Your feedback is important to us and we appreciate your time and effort. Okay. So this has been Beaconomics, discovering the light of an ecopreneurship and technopreneurship. Or Beaconomics, inspirasi baru untuk ecopreneurship dan technopreneurship. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. I'll see you again on the other event.
See you again, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
Refer, Mbak.
Salamat, Raymart.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
We can stay for a while for them to evaluate.
Okay. Again, please take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation form. Okay, we also have students from President Ramon Magsaysay State University. Okay, we also have students from UMM. Thank you so much for participating in today's event. again, if you haven't participated in our post-event evaluation, please take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation form by scanning the QR code flashed on your screen. Your feedback is really important to us, and we appreciate your time and effort. Also, upon submitting the evaluation form, you will receive a certificate of participation via email. So please make sure to provide your correct email address.
We're a secret spy agency.
MI6.
Do I look like a woman that plays for the minor leagues?
Behind you.
It's pretty easy, right?
Watch Citadel and so much more on Prime Video, only for 149 pesos per month.
tinolang matabang kulang.
Dagdagan ng more chicken cubes.
One cube lang.
May rich flavor pa. May sarap ng isang buong manok. North.
Sarap ng tinola na miti sarap.
단체곡 미션 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
Nobody you than the you that you are. Nobody you than the you that you are.
음악 방송 마지막 타임에 나오는 무대를 보는 것 같았어요. 너무 잘한 것 같아요. It's like it was a beautiful thing.
감사합니다.
이제 여러분들의 마지막 무대 7명의 단체춤을 보는 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 베이비몬스터 멤버를 확정짓는 마지막 무대를 남겨두고 있습니다.
안녕. 안녕.
진짜 낯설더라고요. 제가 친구들을 막 초등학생 때부터 봤는데 진짜 많이 컸구나. 그래, 나는 오늘 여러분들의 마지막 미션을 전달해주러 왔어요. 이제 여러분들과 함께 할 미션은